So as you can see, I've already done a lot of mixing and a lot of processing to this project. You can see the way I've set the faders on various channels, and there are various inserts on each channel. So I'm not starting this one from scratch like I have done in the previous tutorials, because there's a lot to do. So what I'll be doing is just taking you through what I've already done. I'm going to solo each instrument and bring it into the mix gradually so you can hear what has been added.
Permanently high like a bird in the sky. I feel my ears burning up like the herb in a pipe. It's like somebody got my balls in a vice. And I hear a lot of people saying yours isn't nice. I'm ignoring them like you don't know my story. So I don't need you to go around and tell it for me. Talking about my private business. Yo, so I'm like, what is this? Looks like some biased snitches chatting about me like Chinese whispers. Why you saying that? What you playing at? Alright, I take it back. I ain't playing that. I'ma shrug it off cause it isn't that important. I'm just sick of hearing everybody talking. Yo, why you saying that? What you playing at?
Okay, so there's just a quick preview of what it sounded like at the moment. So there is an organ on the intro, strings, there's a clavinet instrument, the bass guitar, and it sounds like a pretty good beat with those instruments added without even using the sample. But the sample obviously was the starting point for the whole project to what these instruments have worked around, and when they're all blended together it thickens it up a lot and you notice the sample a lot less, and the rest of the instruments sound like they may have been sampled. So that's an interesting thing to do sometimes when making hip-hop music, because sometimes clearing samples can be an issue if you're releasing and selling music. So if you can use MIDI instruments and software instruments and make them sound like they've been sampled, then that's also an alternative way to do it and can be an effective technique. So let me show you the plugin that was used to create these software instruments. They were all created using Expand, and as you can see, you can load various instruments into the banks within the device. So the strings channel is composed of different types of string sounds. So there's a hybrid string stack and a big legato strings, and then they have been combined together to make the overall string sound. Okay, then there is the organ, which is just made with one organ instrument, but it's quite effective on the intro and chorus. Then there is the clavinet channel, and that's actually made with a clavinet instrument, a trumpet section and French horns. Let's solo each of those and hear the difference when they come together. So that's quite an effective blend of sounds. Now if we look at channel 1, where the stem for the sample is, you can see I have an EQ on the insert, and let's just take a quick look at that. You can see that I've cut out most of the bottom end. Now the reason for this is by cutting the low end frequencies that the sample contains, it will result in creating a lot more space for us to add our own bass, which is what we've done with the bass guitar. So I'm just going to solo the sample again, bypass this EQ so you can notice the difference when the bass has been taken out. So it's taken a lot of that boom out, so then there's more room to add the bass guitar in.
And I hear a lot of people saying yours isn't nice. I'm ignoring them like you don't know my story, so I don't need you to go around and tell it for me.